Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel. My name is Lona and I'm a cloud support engineer. In this video today is going to be a very short video. I just want to do a demo on how to use AWS KMS as your auto seal for Vault. So when you have Vault installed in your EKS cluster because you want to use it to keep your secrets within the cluster, you can choose to use AWS KMS for auto seal because it's a bit easier to use it, and also in terms of security purposes it's better to just use something like AWS KMS. So in this video I'm not going to go into the installation of the Vault because that is what I didn't really want to focus on. I just wanted to focus on just using AWS KMS for AutoSeal. And I'm sharing this video because it's something that gave me a bit of a hard time. So when I finally figured out what I needed to do, I decided why not share? Maybe someone else is going through the same hard time as mine. So in my cluster already, you can see I have my Vault installation already there. Please don't mind the pending status. It's only because I removed the nodes in the cluster. That's why they are pending. But if I add the nodes to my cluster right now, you'll realize that they are in running state. So for my installation of Vault, I used Helm, and this is a sample of my Helm chart. So the Helm values for Vault, and I needed to use Helm because I needed to pass these parameters for me to be able to use AWS KMS for AutoSeal. So this is how you can pass your parameters. I saw that there are different other ways that you can pass this one, but for me, I chose to use it to pass it as environment variables for Vault server. So as you can see here, I'm passing the type, seal type, which is in this case is AWS KMS, and I'm providing my region where my KMS is, which is this one, and then I'm also providing my AWS KMS key ID over here. And then we need a role. Of course, for posts to be able to access AWS KMS, you need a role that has permissions for AWS KMS. And in this case, I'm using IAM roles for service account. So it means that the service account that Vault will be using will be annotated by this role. So I'm not going to pass my access key or secret key within the Helm values, which I've seen some people do that, but I believe it's better when you use an IAM role instead of just directly passing your access key and secret key just for security purposes. And also, of course, there are other ways that you can do this annotation for service account and also passing your AWS key ID. You don't necessarily have to pass them here, but just for this demo, I'm just going to put it here, and I'm also going to put the annotation for my service account here. Of course, when you understand Terraform, there are other ways that you can do it. For example, you can also create your KMS key through Terraform, or you can choose to have it created prior, maybe manually from your console, and then you just come and pass the key here. And of course, with Terraform, there are other ways that you can use to pass this key to your Vault. So this is just a demo, and this is one of the ways that you can do it. So as you can see, this is what is needed. This is basically what is needed. Just pass the seal type as KMS, AWS KMS, pass your region, pass your seal key ID on whichever way that you can pass, and pass the role for your Vault ports to be able to access KMS, whichever way you can do when you're using Terraform. So this is basically my values.yaml for Vault, and this is what I use to install Vault in my cluster. I'm also using MySQL as backend storage for my Vault, but that is not necessary for now because my focus is just to show you how to use AWS KMS for AutoSeal. So once you have your Vault ports running within the cluster, assuming my ports are running right now, and just let's assume that it's immediately after installation, there are some commands that you need to run to unseal the key and also to initialize. First of all, to initialize and then to unseal. And in this case, remember we are using AWS KMS, but regardless, the first thing that you need to do a manual init and unseal for the first replica here, and then the rest will just have to join them to the Vault cluster. So I have a write-up here just for the short steps that you need to follow. So the first thing that you can do after your Vault is running within the cluster, check the Vault status. Check the status for each of the replicas. This is the command that you can run. You need to exec into the pod and then check status by running Vault status. So kubectl exec Vault 0. Of course, my namespace is Vault, and then check Vault status. You'll notice that the output that you will get will be something like the things that you will be looking at when you get the status output is whether it is initialized and whether it's unsealed. So you'll see something like sealed is true because it's still sealed, and then init or initialized is false. So what you need to do is to be able to have your vault unsealed and also initialized. So for you to do that, this is the first command that you need to run. kubectl exec into that first pod replica for vault, and then run the operator init command. So once you run that command, this is a sample output that you will get. You'll get the recovery keys, like 5 of them, because this is high availability, so you'll get this. And then you also get your initial root token that you can use to access your vault. So this is just a sample output, just for initial initialization process. When you run the init command for your vault, this is the sample output. So the next thing that you do, if you go back and check the status for that pod, you'll realize that init is now true because it's initialized, but it's still unsealed. So you need to unseal, so but it's still sealed. So you'll see that initialized is true, but sealed, it's still true. So you need to make seal to be false. You need to unseal it. So the command that you need to run for you to unseal is this command. So you run this on the same pod replica, that is the master, or maybe let's call it the first one. Like this is definitely the master because it's vault 0. And then you pass these recovery keys 3 times. So for example, this is how you're gonna do it. So kubectl exec to the vault pod and run operator unseal command, passing the 3 recovery keys one at a time. So the first one is here, repeat the same command and pass the second one, and then repeat the same command for the third time and pass the third one. So once you go back and check this, you'll realize that for this specific pod, it will be unsealed and it will be initialized. Now for the remaining replicas, you don't need to do the manual initialization and sharing these keys into that, that pod and doing the manual initializing and unsealing, because already AWS KMS should take over. So something else that you should see on this one when you check the status is the seal type has been updated to AWS KMS. So now you can just join the rest to the cluster, and this is the command that you need to run to join the rest to the cluster. So you run for the first one, you exec the first one, and then join to the cluster. So this is wrong, should be like that. Yeah, and then 2 over here. Sorry about it. So you execute the first one. Of course, the second in this matter because the master has already been initialized, been unsealed. So the second one, and then you run operator raft join it to the vault cluster. The third one, the same thing, join it to the vault cluster. And as you can see from here, this is the cluster that we are talking about, which is listening on this port 8200. So it's the same thing that you're trying to do over here. You're joining to the vault cluster. So once they're joined, the 2 of them should be joined to the cluster, and when you run to check their status one more time, you should see that they are also unsealed and they are initialized. So basically that is it. So I didn't want to go back and do the demo because my vault is already initialized, and I just wanted to give you an explanation of how you can achieve it, because personally what I thought is that when you pass AWS KMS for auto unseal, you don't have to do anything else. And I was wondering why my ports kept being still unsealed and initialized, and I was like, what is going on? So I didn't really know that you need to do the first init process and the first unseal, and then join the rest to the vault cluster. So if you've been going through the same thing, this is the way to go about it. And I hope this video will help you. And if you have any questions, kindly let me know in the comment section, and I'll be able to try and answer them. And most of all, guys, kindly support this channel. Please subscribe and also share the videos as much as possible. Also just say something in the comment section. You can say a thank you, whatever. Or if it's not working for you, also just let me know so that I can work on something that could be problematic. So up to this point, thank you for watching, and I hope it helps. Please subscribe. Bye.